section. There we go. So similarities and differences. When we speak of similarities, economists typically say that in a country, you have capital, right? The capital that they make mention to is, for example, the physical capital, where the land, right, the water, the resources that is naturally there. And then now there's something called human capital, which is you can tell is something that has to do with us. So we're gonna say that there's two kind of capitals. There are two kinds of capitals as it relates to human resource, right? This is the physical capital, which is land, right? And then there is the human capital, okay? Right. So let me ask a question now. If something is valuable physically, so that's land, what could be valuable in terms of a human person? What can they contribute in terms of value that would make them a capital? Let's take Talia. Any answers?
Skills and knowledge.
There you go. Skills, knowledge, expertise. As we said before, skills and knowledge comprises of human capital. Good. Okay? But here's the thing though. The reason why we're so important and we're determined as capital is because whatever can be done with the physical resource itself is only used by people, right? So we have to take control of any capital there is for it to be valuable. That's why we're human capital, because we have the education, the skills to manipulate the different resources all around us, such as extracting different things in the earth. It wouldn't necessarily be of value unless we determined it by saying that we are going to use it. So it's human capital based on the simple fact that we possess experience, education, and knowledge, and these different qualities can only be found in people. Right? Experience, knowledge, and skills about how to manipulate resources can only be found in people, which is obvious. You can go to a zoo and they tell you differently when they say this whale is very smart, but no one compares to a human. All right, there we go. Good. Thank you, Talia. Let's continue now. So we're going to say now, who makes up a country's human resource? And this is where the pyramid comes into play, right? So if you think about the population of Jamaica, for example, it's roughly 2 point something million, right? The young people like yourself, you're in school. Do you think that you make up a part of the human resources? So let's go back to what we mean by human resource. We're saying that you are an employee, a worker, you have a skill, you have a talent, you have a gift, and you contribute to the economy. So let me ask a question. Which section of the population would you consider a part of the human resource? Let's take Jadali. Remember the question? Who comprises human resource? The human resource aspect of an economy. Jadali, any suggestions? Think about it. If it's persons that work, yeah?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Any suggestions? All right, let me help you a little bit. We said that it's persons that are workers or employees. What age do you have to be before you are legally bound to work? Anybody? Or anybody can guess. All right. You guys are so excited the words can't even come out.
18, sir, or 16?
18. 18. Thank you. Who said that?
Talia.
Talia. So you might be asking, well, why sir is writing the names down? You'll see at the end of the term. Right? So Talia said it. Good. So we're gonna say the working class begins at the age of 18. So therefore, young and elderly persons do not comprise of the human resource. Right. I want someone to explain why. It's pretty self-explanatory, but why don't we classify young persons like yourself a human resource right now?
Because we're underage and we don't have the strength to work.
Right? We're underage and we don't possess the skills to work. Because you're learning right now about social studies to apply it to a facet in the economy, but you aren't qualified yet. So you're still, I'd say, underprepared. Right? Elderly persons, they have passed their primes. They might know the knowledge, but they physically can't be able to work anymore. All right, that's good. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Talia, again. But I want to hear from Brandon and everybody now. So when I move on to
I literally just said so, sir. Is me one who talks, sir. We call him Talia name alone.
She said the answer for the age, because I asked the age at which age do you start to be a working class?
Yes, sir. Just write down my name.
All right.
Don't worry about I also helped.
All right. I'll add Brandon's name, so you have to catch up to Talia. All right. I'll add Brandon's name.
All right.
There we go. Okay, excellent. And I advise you to just it's either a case where you guys are writing the notes, so let me know. So you want me to pause and let you write the notes, just let me know. Okay, let's continue. So we're gonna move on to say now, that's the similarities and difference of who makes up the human resource. But what's the age limit? Well, typically it begins at 18, and in most countries, and I said most countries because it's not a definite age. It's
America, isn't America 15, sir?
No. It's no. Every country should be literally between 15 or 18, but the age at which
you have
yeah.
Continue, sir.
But the age at which you stop working is not a definite value. So in the case of 15, you can be for example, work with your father, for example, but he can't pay you until you're 18. But if we're looking at the elderly persons now, the average age is 65. That's right. Because there is no definite age to stop working. Because even the billionaires, because they're the owners, they're the CEOs, they can stop working when they inevitably go on. So,
sir, will the government pay you when you're that age?
Well, you'd have to be voluntary. The government won't pay you, and the reason why is because if you get injured now, then it has to be subsidized from the government. But if you decide to work voluntarily, they don't have you under contract, then that's up to you. But you can't be employed when you're past the age of average 65. Right?
Okay.
But some persons, when they're at that age, they're very bored, so they would just say, I'll take just voluntary work because I can't stay home. But the average age is typically 65. So we're going to say, about the average age to where elderly persons, to where the human limit is 65. Countries differ, but typically 65. Okay, now that's who makes up the country's human resource. I'm going to give you a multiple choice question to do, right? Let's see who can get the most points. All right, so here we go. Let me put it here. So we're going to say use the following words. Human, use the following words. Let me put it in bold. Human resource. Let's go out. Resource natural, and skill. There we go. And skill to answer the following multiple choice. The first person that raises their hand, don't shout because I'm recording. The mic will get destroyed.
Repeat that, sir.
The first person.
The first person who raised their hand.
Right, with the raise hand function in Zoom. Right? But don't raise your hand yet because I haven't given you the questions yet. Right? So you're gonna use these 4 words, fill in the blanks. When you are confident that you got the answer, you answer. You raise your hand. But if you're not, there's a penalty. If you get the answer incorrect, that's a deduction of a mark on your leaderboard. Because that's what the blue links mean. I tally the marks and see, for example, Tally is at 2, Brandon is at 1, everybody's at 0. If you get the answer incorrect though, it's a minus 1. That's how I get you guys to participate.
You can't just keep it where it is. People don't even have no points.
Alright, so if you answer and you get it incorrect, that's a negative. I'm just joking. But alright, let's give the questions now. Ready? So I'm gonna put it down, and the first person to raise their hands with the answer. There we go. Wait. There you go.
Sir, I can't raise my hand.
Wait. These are raise hand section.
Again, go ahead, sir.
Alright, you finished?
Yes, sir. I kind of picked most of them.
Alright, so
She didn't raise her hand.
Wait. The first person to raise their hand. 5, 4.
I can't raise my hand. I don't do it on my laptop.
Oh, okay.
Sir.
Alright, so now you go. You go.
A resort.
Oh, sir, I found it. Never mind, I found it.
Alright.
A resort is something that we use.
Okay.
Wood is an example of a natural resource that we use to make different products.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who has a special skill for music or dance may go on to become an artist. The human resource of a country lies within its people.
Good job. That's a
Alright, sir, before you give her the point, sir, Sunny, you sure you can't go? If you go in participant, you see raise hand on the bottom.
Where?
Right. Yeah, on the lower section.
Go in part if you press it and it work, you don't deserve the no.
I deserve the point. I deserve the point. I didn't know.
Alright.
You deserve the point.
Okay, so from now, alright.
Take it away from her, sir. No, sir.
From this point on, you have to use the button. From this point on.
Okay, sir. I know where it is now.
Okay, good.
Oh God, sir, she didn't know how to use that first.
Oh,
Right.
Sean, you already have
That's
a
true.
point.
Wait,
Why
no.
you
She knew
wrong
how to use. She knew.
There's
how
more
to
questions.
use it. She thinks she's smart. She
This-
knows how to use it.
There's 2 more questions in this section. So let's see now. Alright, the next question, it says, list 2 main differences between human and physical resource. These 2 main differences between human and physical resource. Alright, let's see who's raising their hands. First person.
There's 2 differences between physical
Is that alright, Brandon, there you go. Alright.
Alright, sir, I'm gonna try, sir. It's physical, like natural resources such as rocks, water, and things. And human is, I guess, man-made because man is something.
Right. Okay. Wait. You're giving me too much. All right. So the first one, it said it's rocks, etc. Right. Now tell me the difference between this definition and human resource. So that's one. So what will be the difference between the rocks?
Rocks are natural.
And now tell me what's
Rock
the
is
difference.
natural, human is not.
All right. So human is what?
And human is not.
Human is not. Okay. I'll take it.
Man-made.
So or man-made. Okay. Now I want you to get more specific now, because that's one. Get specific in terms of what exactly comprises of a human resource. That's all I'm gonna give you as a hint.
Knowledge and skills.
Knowledge and skills. Alright? Knowledge and skills for human
And
resource.
rocks are just made of materials and minerals.
Right, but here's the thing though. I explicitly remember telling you that one of the resources, human or physical, is dependent on the other. That's the next difference. So which one is dependent on the other? Remember that? All right. So
physical. No. Human.
Wait.
Human depend on physical resources.
Wait. Let's take a step back. There's all right. First of all, does everyone agree with him that physical? Wait. What did you say again? Don't switch
human
it.
Depend on physical resources.
All right. Human depend on physical. Everybody agrees?
No, sir. Wait, no, sir. Physical resources depend on him because if humans were not here, there's no point of them.
All right. There you go. So he got it correctly. So human resources. The next one is that human resources is having knowledge, skills, and experience. Right. And the last one is that the human resources, the persons have the skills and the facet to manipulate physical resource. Right. So physical resource by itself is pretty not significant, but when humans get into play, we can decide what we use. So it's valuable at that point. So we're going to say that physical resource, right, is dependent on human resource. So if you don't know how to manipulate the land because you don't have the skills or the education, then nothing is valuable. You don't know how to build a house, right? So you need a dependency on the physical. Okay, good. So Brandon, you get the point? All right, now the last question. This is the last question. We're going to say now. Okay, let's go here. We're going to say, look at the picture that I'm going to give you. And look at the picture of the people making up the word resources on the page I'm going to give you. And what does this picture tell you about human resource? So let me write the question firstly. And I'm going to put the picture, first person to attempt it. Let me put the picture now. Okay. Look at the picture of the people making up the word resources. There we go. All right, excellent. Okay. Here's the picture. So it says, look at the picture of the people making up the word resources on the page, and what does this picture tell you about human resource? It's going to be a reflective answer. It's not a case where you're wrong or right, but let's see how well you understand what we're talking about. All right.
Alright, sir. Since nobody wanted to talk.
Sir, I raised my hand first.
I don't care. You never talk.
No. She raised her hand first.
Raise their hand first.
Right.
No.
You said in the first place.
No.
Talia.
Whoever raised their hand first gets after the question.
Talia.
First.
I saw Talia's hand. I saw her hand. All right, Talia, you have the floor.
Okay, what it tells me is that human resources are made out of the humans themselves, meaning that their skills and knowledge are what create the resources.
Right.
What I get.
Nobody asked you.
Wait. No, let me hear it. We have to be kind. Let me hear it.
What I get from this picture is that human resources need one another to actually do something.
All right, so it's codependent on each person as well as it comprises of us, right? So both of you are correct, but because Talia raised her hand and she answered, it's her question.
No. Talia would have said nothing if I didn't say anything.
Oh my god.
Human resource comprises
I raised my hand first for a reason.
of the
Sunny raised her hand first.
No, I raised my hand first.
Knowledge.
Sunny.
All right, that the citizens possess. Excellent. All right. So thank you guys for participating. That was a good exercise. That's the end of this round. The round goes to whoever has the most points, but we still have more to go through. So I'm going to close this up. So in summary, we went through the definition of human resource, the characteristics, and the similarities and difference. Okay. Now the next subtopic we're going to go through now is going to be factors influencing human resource. Factors influencing human resource. This is where we're at now, because the first three topics was a review, but now we're actually at this section now. So we're saying now factors influencing human resource. Okay? There are several factors. Quality. If I'm looking at, for example, education, the quality of education will determine how well the students or the persons that become citizens are able to take on the job, right? The different skills that they learn, how creative their mindset is in terms of solving problems, right? The quantity, how much persons have been produced. I don't like that word produce because it makes it sound like we're an object, but how many persons in terms of population is in that economy, and the composition, male, female, etc. So there's a total of 7 factors I just listed. I'll write them out now. There's quality. There are several factors that influence the development of human resource. There's quality, right?
Sir,
Uh-huh.
don't you have like people who knows when people die or when people born or stuff like that? There's a system for that, sir.
Right. That's are you talking about a census?
Sir, I don't really know what it's called.
Right.
I just know that
it's called a census. It's called a census.
Right, right. Because she's talking about the fact that in terms of persons in a population, you would use a census, yes, to get really the count of how many persons are there. But in terms of things that would influence, for example, people dying or people having a better way of life than they did before, would be quality of education or quality of life, quantity, how many persons have been in the economy or in the situation or society, let's use that word, right? In society, quantity, the composition, how many males there are to females, composition, right? Skills development. So let's say you are a football player, for example. Your skill cap is more than a person who would just be a cashier. So that type of difference can be a helpful or a restrictive one. Because if you're in a country that doesn't focus on sports, then sad to behold, you won't really help the country at all. Right? So skills development. Right? Slash enhancement. Right? And we'll get into specifically what each mean. Because examples I give were very vague, but I want to make sure you understand more. So we're going to say, and the last one is creativity. And this one is very overlooked. They think, oh, just because we teach you, that's enough. We actually need to inspire you to actually learn how to teach yourself. And that's where creativity comes into play, right? So that's a debatable topic as to how much its importance lies, or where does the importance lie. But in terms of quality, let's define that firstly. Quality.
Excuse me, sir, when you're done, can you put the link for the notes in the chat, please?
No problem. I'll be happy to. Here you go. All right, I'm going to stop recording now because if I make it record any longer, it's going to crash. So I'm going to pause.